Okay, along the same lines, I'm getting martial law questions, and they relate not just to coronavirus, but to the election. And the question is, David, will Donald Trump declare martial law and suspend the election due to coronavirus? We already talked about this a little bit earlier this week when we got a voicemail. So, martial law is when military control is placed over civilian functions of government. So, this would be if there's an emergency, a major disaster, terrorist attack in an occupied territory, etc. It is very complicated legal territory when it comes to things that require that are sort of bound by the law. The election date and when electors need to formally cast their ballots for the candidate that won on election day is prescribed in the Constitution. And so you would need Congress to say something about the election being moved to a different day. This year, December 14th is when the electors are supposed to vote. If Massachusetts votes for Biden, the electors on December 14th need to go and say Massachusetts casts our electors for Joe Biden at the delegate counting convention, whatever. To go beyond December 14 with that, it would take an act of Congress or something extraordinary. Now, where it starts to get dicey is if you have martial law and civilian courts are closed. Imagine that there is such a lockdown that martial law is put in place, and it's not just restaurants and public transit that are shut down. Civilian courts are closed. Martial law could dictate that military courts start to get involved in adjudicating some of these things. It's conceivable that moving the election beyond when December 14th would be the date where the electors vote could end up going to courts. If the civilian courts are down, it could conceivably go to a military court. This is insanely unlikely. Now, I want to remind folks who like the idea of martial law to keep Trump in power. Number one, either way, even if there's no election, Donald Trump's term constitutionally ends on January 2021. At that point, again, it's contested exactly the logistics, but the Speaker of the House would become President of the United States. That is scheduled to be Nancy Pelosi. That's number one. And so I don't know that Trumpists are really well served by focusing on this. Number two, typically when martial law is declared, guns are confiscated. Okay. Again, I don't know that the pro-Trump gun nuts are going to be thrilled if the martial law they believe might keep Trump in is also used as a justification to start confiscating their guns. It will probably get ugly. Checkpoints typically get set up in cities. It's all very, very bad. So let's all not be hoping for that, regardless of whether it might keep Trump in office an extra month or something. It's unlikely to do that. And these are exactly the type of questions that really expose the degree of uncertainty and fear that is going on. And I sympathize with that. But let's all work together here. Think not just of yourself, but of other people. Do what the experts are asking you to do. And hopefully we can start to turn this curve, find an inflection point, and turn things in the right direction so we can have an election on schedule. We can have a peaceful transfer of power if that is what the voters decide.